opinion and carry any.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Happy Thursday to everybody who's in the room. And yes, for those of you who are usually always tuned in or tune in for the first time, Chris Avalon Unfiltered is basically a show we get into all the latest celebrity news, gossip, entertainment news, whatever is trending on the social medias and beyond. We talk about it on this here show. So before we get started on the upcoming topics that I'm gonna break down in a second, please do me a favor and a solid and all that good stuff and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And so some of the topics we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about Rosie O'Donnell is joining a show that was kind of like hit or miss for me, mostly missed and hit. We'll talk about that in a second. UMG seems to have reached a deal with TikTok. We're going to talk about that. Dan Schneider is suing the producers of Quiet on Set. Speaking of Quiet on Set and what is it, Investigation Discovery, child, they're about to dig up some tea on Nick Carter. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Monique is at it again, talking about Tyler Perry and Oprah, and still around here acting like a bitter old bitch instead of actually sitting down and telling some fucking jokes. So we're going to talk about that. Dwayne Johnson, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. I alluded to it in passing when I was talking about Kevin Hart in that whole segment. But I decided let's just make it a topic today. We're going to talk about it. So apparently Dwayne Johnson's got a bad reputation in Hollywood. He seemed to have had this good reputation for a while, but there was a whole expose done on him about how he has been unprofessional on set. Tardiness, peeing in water bottles, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to talk about it here. Plus, Mauricio Umansky seems to have moved out of the house that he shared with Kyle Richards. Britney Spears and Sam Asghari have finally finalized their divorce. But, yeah, I just came across an article on the Daily Mail talking about that Britney been having, I think she had an episode in one of the hotels. I told y'all didn't put her ass back under that conservative shit, but when you say that, the Britney army want to get mad. Well, whatever, keep getting mad. I'm gonna keep saying what I'm gonna say until something happened to her, and then we don't want to hear you woulda, coulda, shouldas after that. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Vinny Guadagnino from Jersey Shore, one of my favorite from that show, is opening up about almost exclusively dating Black women. So I'm going to give my thoughts on that. Plus, an Atlanta woman claims that doing Little Kim's signature dance move saved her life during a drive-by shooting that happened in Alabama. We're going to talk about when I saw that video, I had a whole cackle. We're going to play it on here too. Yesterday I was like, I can't wait for Bob the drag queen to tell her side in regards of, if she's going to respond to the Plain Jane interview that she did with Maddie Morphosis on Give It To Me Straight. Bob has spoken. We're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clip. And Trixie Mattel has announced that she's taking a break from music. And she's calling out the glass ceiling for drag queens that apparently, because apparently they're not taking drag queens seriously in the world of music and stuff. So we're gonna play that clip too. So we got an action-packed show today, even though there's not a lot of stuff going on and stuff. I will always find something to talk about on the show. But so without further ado, before we get to, the rest of the actual show and the topics and things, once again, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button, share it, do all that good stuff, comment also, because, we're a live stream, so you could definitely comment during the show. We love, I've created this as an interactive show, so I'm always here for what people got to say, good, bad, and indifferent, but be respectful, because you will get cussed out. With love. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the first topic of Rosie O'Donnell joining the third season of And Just Like That. So apparently, Rosie O'Donnell posted the news yesterday on her Instagram with, the script, and it says Mary, which I'm assuming that's her damn name on the episode. And it says the episode is called Outlook Good, and it's written and directed by the show's creator, he developed it or whatever. He's one of the head writers, Michael Patrick King, because, the show was created, based off of Candace Bushnell's iconic book from back in the day. So anyway, Rosie O'Donnell, who, has started many of programs, including A League of Their Own alongside Madonna. who she's still good friends with, has joined the cast of And Just Like That for season 3. The note shows a photo of the script, and we talked about that. Sarah Jessica Parker's character is Carrie, so hopefully Carrie and Mary will be sharing lots of screen time. I know a lot of people were assuming because Rosie O'Donnell's a lesbian in real life that it might be a scene she's doing with Miranda, because Miranda was eating, getting her box ate for 2 seasons on this show, on the spinoff, not during Sex in the City, but during And Just Like That. So, but here's the thing. Just because you gay in real life don't necessarily mean you only play gay roles, because I think that's one of the things that we don't want to be typecast. But anyway, so Parker, as well as other cast members like Kristen Davis, Cynthia Nixon, Evan Handler, Mario Cantone, Sarita Chowdhury, and Katarina Tannenbaum shared photos from the first day of production on social media. Season 3 will not see the return of at least 2 actors. Karen Pittman stepped away from the series when she played Nia Wallace for 2 seasons, leaving things up in the air with the hot chef played by Gary Dourdan. As Deadline revealed exclusively in March, her departure was due to scheduling as she continues to work on Apple's The Morning Show and Netflix's Forever. So with her being gone, she's busy. She got 2 shows she's working on, and I'm sure both of them are shooting in New York. Sara Ramirez has concluded their time on the show in the role of Che Diaz as well. By the end of season 2, Che and Miranda had split for good, and both had moved on to explore new relationships. A source close to the production shared that Che's story had come to a natural end. I'm not buying that. First of all, no one really liked Che on the show for 2 seasons. Che was insufferable. I hated the way that they wrote that character. And so with Che leaving the show, I'm sure that a lot of people are saying good riddance and people are rejoicing in the streets. But I blame the writers for writing that character as being the most annoying character on that damn show. And that's saying a lot. Well, that's not saying much, because I feel like a lot of the writing and a lot of the characters on And Just Like That were irritating my entire spirit. But nevertheless, let's move on. So the big open-ended storyline for the finale is Carrie and Aiden being split again, at least for now. Aiden had been traveling back and forth from his home in Virginia to spend time with Carrie in New York, but things weren't working out on that front. Aiden, now a divorced father of 3, realized his family needed him closer as none of his sons had reached the age of 18. He asked her to wait for him, but that would require years and a lot of patience. Yeah, first of all, see, this is how I know, look, I didn't watch the last season because I told you I bailed halfway through the show. I felt like the writing and stuff, so I didn't even get to see Aiden make his big entrance. A couple episodes, and I think I was so irritated by Che and Miranda and everything that was going on with her, and just abandoning her family to go running around California with him, and the stupid shenanigans that they had her in. And then Charlotte doing her dumb shit while her daughter was trying to, I guess, deal with whatever she was dealing with. I was just like, a lot of you characters are really irritating me right now, and I don't care enough to want to hang out with you guys. So I feel like, you know what? I've given enough time. I might dive back in, pick up where I left off, just so that way I can get that closure, and also see my girl Kim Cattrall in her little cameo scene. Even though I already know she did, the scene was in a car. She wasn't really a part of filming with everybody. She was just doing her own little scene, her little cameo, whatever you want to call it. So I didn't get to see Carrie and Aiden in that whole situation. I'm still pissed off about how she treated Aiden. Like, Aiden was the one good damn thing in her damn life, and then she went and cheated on him with Big, while Big was, married to that other chick, the one that's on Blue Bloods, that got a baby in real life with Tom Brady. I was just like, mm-mm. So I didn't really get to that point. But now, since I'm hearing all of this, I guess I'll dive back in. But you know what? On that note, I'll say shout out to you, Rosie O'Donnell. I'm curious as to the character you're going to play. Maybe that she'll breathe some life into the show. I do like Rosie O'Donnell. She was just, I believe she was, she got an award at the Queer Tees, which, the website Queer Tea was like the gay publication. They had an award show, and Rosie won an award. I believe that Ricky Lake gave it to her. So shout out to her. I'm looking forward to seeing, like I said, what character she's going to be playing on the show, and I'm really hoping that the writing is a lot better. The characters are going to be more interesting, and the story is far more compelling than the previous 2 seasons. Because if it doesn't shape up, I'm just going to be done for good. Like, I usually give shows like 3 or 4 episodes before I decide, okay, if I want to continue to support this show. If you don't, but I feel like because I'm so beholden to Sex and the City and love the show, that I've been giving them way more leeway than I need to. If season 3 don't really work it out and give me what needs to be given, or if y'all don't do what needs to be done, in the words of Law Roche, on Legendary, then I'm bailing for good. I love you, SJP, but y'all not enough. Y'all not gonna be enough to keep me around for maybe a fourth season, or not even that. I don't even know if the show will survive a season 4 if they don't really pick up after season 3. Because a lot of people who were fans of Sex and the City were complaining about the show just not being good writing wise and storyline wise, and it just felt to me the characters of like y'all checking every box of let's add the Indian chick, let's add the black chick, let's add this one here, like people we know damn well none of them girls would actually hang out with in real life. I just felt like y'all just threw them in there, and I think that's the argument that a lot of people try to use that woke word, which I hate how white people have hijacked that shit and turn it into like some Trump type crap. But I feel like if you're gonna add and show New York for what it is, which is a cultural melting pot. If you go down to the Upper East Side, West Side, Chelsea, a lot of those places where people spend a lot of money living down there, you do see a lot of Asian women. You see, and they not nannies. You do definitely see a lot of married to white men. They do got the nanny, but the nanny be African. A lot of black women down there, African, Jamaican, all up in the park watching them damn kids, except the actual parents who push them babies out their cooch. They not the ones raising them kids. There'd be a lot of black women down at them parks, Africans and Jamaicans and Haitians. Any West Indians, shout out to y'all. I say that's shout out to the Haitians. Wagwan, we be talking about the Jamaicans. So you see a lot of those nannies and stuff down there. So it'd be nice if they were to kind of show more of that, and it'd be like you do show those rich women cultural types, but y'all need to make it a little more realistic. But Second City ain't never been realistic because Chad, we already know, like if Carrie was a real person, she would not have been able to afford no apartment down in them days over doing no damn column, the one that she was doing. But we got to suspend our disbelief, just like we did with Friends, how they had that big ass apartment. I was like, first of all, this is unrealistic too. But that's the LA sound stages. They actually shot Sex and the City in New York, by the way, which is why a lot of people loved it. And I remember my ex roommate told me that show was the reason why he moved here. That and Madonna's Confessions on a Dance Floor was one of the reasons why he moved to New York, which I cackled when I heard that. But anyway, good luck to y'all. I'm looking forward to seeing season 3. And yeah, y'all better shape up or ship the little girl. Okay, so poor Che never stood a chance. No, they didn't. Because I know I was like, oh, you using the wrong pronoun. No, they did not. They didn't stand a chance because that show was just, the way they wrote the character, I don't know. Like, to me, there's like, if you're going to write non-binary characters, you really have to have somebody who's non-binary writing for the show, or at least consult with someone who's non-binary. So that way, don't get me wrong, I'm all for queer characters to be flawed. I don't like people who's got to be perfect because you're going to disturb or the queer community is going to be mad. Well, you're taking us back all these years. We have a reputation. We have to look a certain way because we don't want straight people to see us look. No, I don't give a fuck about all that. Like, I feel like what the characters that I register with the most are the ones who are just like, that shows that they're human, they're flawed, emotionally, spiritually, mentally fucked up. I live for those type of characters because it just shows like, that gives us a little more weight. I don't want somebody out here being all perfect. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about TikTok, who, I knew this wasn't going to last long. So, Universal Music Group and TikTok have been in a month-long standoff because, the UMG have won, royalty payments. And there was some issues with AI and all that stuff, which seems to be a lot of the issues that's going on with a lot of things, not just music, but film. That was one of the reasons why, a lot of actors and writers were striking because of AI. I was just I watched a clip that Drink Champs posted up because, their podcast be like 8 damn hours for no damn reason. Well, no, actually, it's not true. Their podcast be long, but it's with good reason because they be drinking all that stuff. Although I don't think I see Nori drinking as much anymore, or maybe it was because I saw that clip. But nobody, I like that. Club Shay Shay, you need an editor. Like, I don't want to have to sit through all your damn show because you be doing too much of nothing. But Drink champs and everything, I appreciate them because they be drinking, smoking, all that stuff, and they really get some real good in-depth conversations. And I think that's because Nori's a Virgo. So, when it comes to Virgos, we always be trying to pull shit out of people, and then we getting those deep freaking conversations about stuff. But anyway, so Will I Am was on there, and he was talking about the whole AI situation. He even posted, he said that he checked something where it was just like people, it was like a comedy bit that he typed in or whatever, and the AI created this whole situation. And not only that, but he was also talking about like in the future, like people gonna be catfishing with AI, especially like when you meet somebody and you don't have the vernacular to actually come up with stuff to have a conversation with somebody you're potentially trying to date. So you create this whole AI voice thing and it does all the work for you. And then when you actually meet that person in real life, they're gonna realize, okay, this person that you created is not really you. So that's crazy. Like AI seems like a real cool thing because futuristic all stuff, and I like futuristic stuff. But if it's gonna be doing all of this kooky crazy things, where it's gonna be taking people essences and y'all creating whole voices and all this other stuff, um, I ain't gonna like that. So anyway, so that's why I'm all about like artists owning their persona, owning their voice, owning all of the things that comes with being, an artist and not letting AI just use whatever. But if you give it permission, then that's a different story. So anyway, according to Billboard, Universal Music Group and TikTok have struck a new licensing agreement, which will soon bring UMG's catalog of millions of sound recordings and songs back to TikTok after 3 months off the platform, though it is unclear exactly when all of UMG's catalog will return to the app. A press release about the new license says it will return in due course, and the two companies are working expeditiously to return the music. Now, UMG's last license with TikTok expired at the end of January after negotiations soured between the two companies. UMG announced that its music will be pulled from the app starting February 1st in a letter to its artists and songwriters saying that TikTok refused to pay their fair value of music and that it had concerns about TikTok's stance on AI and artist safety. Eventually, over the course of February, millions of sound recordings and compositions in the UMG catalog were removed from TikTok, which has been known as perhaps the most effective artist promotion and marketing platform of the 2020s. This included the removal of superstars like Taylor Swift, BTS, Drake, Ariana Grande, The Weeknd, Lady Gaga, Lana Del Rey, Billie Eilish, Eminem, Nicki Minaj, Justin Bieber, Karol G, and Post Malone. Its impact stretched even wider when UMG's publishing interests were also removed from TikTok, which included many recordings released by other record companies. So they're basically saying that UMG and TikTok will now enter a new era of strategic collaboration and that the deal improves remuneration for UMG and artists, new promotion and engagement opportunities for their recordings and songs, and industry-leading protections with respect to generative AI, which is crazy because I'm like, okay, so I think the reason why TikTok came to agreement because they probably realized that a lot of people were leaving TikTok. Like you can't use the music and stuff and do your little dances or whatever the case is if the music is not up there. If you can't, and especially with Taylor Swift breaking all these records, love her or hate her, she's breaking a lot of records right now. Her music is selling through the roof and all this other stuff. So TikTok is realizing, damn, we're losing a lot of money on this situation. So I think that's what it all boils down to, is that because quiet as it's kept, BTS, Drake, Ariana Grande's new album is whatever, but I mean, I thought it was okay. But BTS, Drake, The Weeknd, Lady Gaga, Eminem, Justin Bieber, Karol G, Post, like they don't have new music out or whatever. Now, Lana Del Rey, I believe, didn't she just release a new album? Billie Eilish got a new album coming out soon. Eminem is about to drop a new album. So a lot of those artists who are about to drop new music soon, they're going to want somebody to use their music or whatever the case is. But the only thing I don't like about TikTok and what is happening with music or whatever is that, you know what, it's hurting a lot of independent artists because they're pushing a lot of these mainstream people who have this chokehold on social media and everything. They're not really creating music. They're worrying about an algorithm pushing out their music in order for it to be a hit. When it's like, you don't necessarily know certain songs or whatever is going to be a hit in the eyes of the audience. The audience and everything is deciding, what is hot and what is what is it? It's not the labels and stuff. So now y'all are becoming slaves to these TikTok algorithms, whereas like songs have to be 2.5 minutes or not even 2 minutes anymore. Some songs be 1:30. I'm like, they ain't a fucking song, it's a goddamn commercial. So people aren't really making music anymore. Y'all making music for the sake of TikTok algorithms rather than sitting in the studio and actually really coming up with something creative. That's why I love people like, you know what, whether you like the album or not, like people like Beyonce and stuff who's just like, you know what, I still want to create art. I still want to make creative stuff and not worry about, everything, all that extra stuff. So good luck to y'all, Tiki Taki and whatever all the other stuff with this deal. All right, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Dan Schneider. Child, I thought I spelled sued wrong for a second. It's like, ooh, I'm bugging. But anyway, so the television, I'm sure y'all all saw Quiet on Set. If you have not seen it, I implore you to see it because those 4 parts was really good. I didn't see part 5 because I saw it was like, after the success of the 4-part docuseries, they did quickly put together part 5, a 5th episode with Soledad O'Brien, where she sat down with some of the cast members who spoke out about the whole thing, and they just talked about more stuff. And then Drake Bell came on and got a little more candid about the abuse he endured. So after watching that docuseries, I was like, I felt like the producers did a good enough job where they didn't where a suation situation wasn't going to be warranted by Dan Schneider, but apparently his dumbass lawyers, because I feel like y'all don't even have a case in this situation. Like, he's coming out making certain accusations, which to me makes no sense because no one really accused you of any kind of P word, when you diddling with children. There was no accusations there. Now, there was some creepy stuff when you got people putting, like Ariana Grande putting her toes in her mouth, and you got these kids doing inappropriate things because you like that type of filthy comedy where you want to see kids do gross, nasty, adult type stuff on TV and see how much you can get away with through past the censors and stuff, which I don't know how they didn't catch that. It's funny how, like, the MPAA and stuff can catch some of the stupidest stuff when it comes to, rating systems and all the other stuff. But when it comes to these kid programs, that all skip past y'all. So anyway, he filed the lawsuit, and now he's saying that, well, basically, I'll read you what it says. Now it says the lawsuit, which was obtained by Variety and filed by Schneider's attorneys, Jana Moser and Richard McKee, reads in part, Quiet on Set's portrayal of Schneider. I'm like, what is going on? Because my dogs will not shut the hell up upstairs. But anyway, hold on. Or in the other room. So anyway, let me see. Okay, so let me go back. So it says, Quiet on Set's portrayal of Schneider is a hit job. While it is indisputable that 2 bona fide child SAs worked on Nickelodeon shows, it is likewise indisputable that Schneider had no knowledge of their of their abuse, was not complicit in the abuse, condemned the abuse once it was discovered, and critically was not a child SA himself. But for the sake of clickbait, ratings, and views, or put differently, money, defendants have destroyed Schneider's reputation and legacy throughout the false statements and implications that Schneider is exactly that. Now, Quiet on Set details, for those of you who didn't see it, Schneider's rise as the creator and producer of Nickelodeon shows, including The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, iCarly, Victorious, and more. Former Nickelodeon writers, child stars, and crew members appear in the 5-episode series and accuse Schneider of creating a hostile work environment and sexualizing former child stars on television. A rep for Schneider said in a statement to Variety at the time, everything that happened on the shows Dan ran was carefully scrutinized by dozens of involved adults and approved by the network. If there was an actual problem with the scenes that some people now years later are sexualizing, they would be taken down, but they are not. They are aired constantly all over the world today, still enjoyed by both kids and parents. So Dan Schneider apparently is out here, and his lawyers want to sit and gaslight people like nothing to see over here. That's not what y'all saying. Like if there was issues and stuff, people could have said stuff back then. But you know what? I'm tired of having to stress the situation that you know what? Whenever people come out and they say things, back in those days, you really could not say things, and it was it was said throughout the show that if anybody spoke up, then they were threatened, they were fired, that sort of thing. What I forgot the actor, his mother that was on all that. His mother was speaking up because she didn't like some of the things that was going on set, and was not asked to come back the following season, and he resented his mother for that because he felt like that she was taking away his livelihood. But in the end of the day, she was looking out for her son as an adult should. A kid, all they thinking about is, I'm just so happy to be in the room. I'm so happy to get to do the thing that I love and I get to perform. But then you have these creeps like Dan Schneider and types like him who take advantage of their power in their situations. And that's what that was. Nobody ever said that Dan Schneider was out here SAing children or doing stuff. He was creating a hostile work environment based on the two female writers that worked on, with him at the network, who said that he was making them or saying inappropriate things or coming up with inappropriate things or saying inappropriate things. And then you had the two predators that worked on the show. So there was a lot of things that was going on where, that people were speaking up or whatever the case was, and he chose to ignore it or whatever the case is. And I'm just like, he didn't care because he was doing whatever it was that he was doing. He only cared about what he cared about, and that was that. So, I don't think he has a case because nobody made it seem like nobody's saying all these things that he's being accused of. And here's the thing. So now, why were you given a what is it called? A severance package and sent packing? Going, sent about your merry way. Remember around the time during the Me Too movement, all this stuff started coming out about Dan Schneider, and they basically quietly, got rid of his ass, paid him out, and all that other stuff because of the way that all these accusations was coming up. This quiet on set stuff didn't just come out when this whole docuseries was broadcast. Jeanette McCurdy started saying stuff about stuff that was going on behind the scenes. There have been conversations about Dan Schneider documented over the years, including from the woman who was fired that worked for him as a writer. She filed a suit. So Dan gonna sit up here and you can piss on people's leg and tell them it's raining. That don't necessarily mean that it is actual. People gonna believe it's actual rain. So he could say whatever he wants. I'm sure the judge will probably throw this mess out, and I don't think he's going to be able to get any kind of money. I just feel like, you know what? Yeah, this stuff out here, you've been exposed, and I think he's more or less worried about his reputation more than anything. And then they said in a separate statement sent to Variety alongside the legal complaint, Schneider wrote the following. He said, recently the docuseries Quiet on Set highlighted mistakes I made and poor judgment I exhibited during my time at Nickelodeon, most of which happened decades ago during my early career as a producer, working on shows for Talon / Robbins Productions. There was no doubt that I was sometimes a bad leader. I am sincerely apologetic and regretful for that behavior, and I will continue to take accountability for it. However, after seeing Quiet on Set and its trailer and the reactions to them, I sadly have no choice but to take legal action against the people behind it. In their successful attempt to mislead viewers and increase ratings, they went beyond reporting and the truth and falsely implied that I was involved in or facilitated horrific crimes for which actual child predators have been prosecuted and convicted. I have no objection to anyone highlighting my failures as a boss, but it is wrong to mislead millions of people to the false conclusion that I was in any way involved in heinous acts like those committed by child predators. I owe it to myself, my family, and the many wonderful people involved in making these shows to set the record straight. Well, I believe you could have set it straight when they were putting the docuseries together. Because if you watch the episodes, there were many times where you saw the crawl across the screen, where it wasn't really a crawl, it was just like, words. But you saw across the screen that it was stated, we reached out to Dan Schneider for a rebuttal, and he declined to comment. So the docuseries reiterated many a times, which goes to show he ain't see it because he was basically worried about, oh, when the trailer came out. So you watched the trailer and you thought that was the whole thing. That's my issue with a lot of people. A lot of people who read headlines don't read the article. People who watch trailers don't watch the movie or the show. Y'all go based off of, or people who look at a photo still and they got a whole thesis on how bad a movie or a TV show is. You ain't even watched the shit, but you got a whole thesis based off of a still that's not even an official photo. It's from something from a set, and people go off on. I can't stand people like that. So it just goes to show that. And if they bring this to court, did you watch the whole documentary? Did you watch all 4 parts? Who said anything that would make it seem like that you did something wrong? And I'll say this in closing. Dan, you better watch it, because with all this that you putting out here and all the stuff you saying, you're going to open up a Pandora's box. You're going to open up a whole can of worms where the opposing situation, ID and the producers of the Quiet on Set docuseries, is going to start digging up in your ass, and you ain't going to like what they're going to find. So them other people over there who got that money and everything behind them, I mean, you got the little severance package. Nickelodeon ain't effing with you no more. But, if this goes to trial or whatever the case is, the people over at the ID channel, I'm sure they're going to back up the Brinks truck and be like, okay, so now I'm going to give you a little money. We're going to start digging into him, and whatever they find over there, I don't think you're going to like it. So it's going to be, because, but I will say this. I do think that people, maybe the docuseries could have possibly implied that something happened, that something went down, that there was a possibility that Dan Schneider might have been doing some stuff, but it was never said or proven. So I'm sure if there was some evidence of the contrary, it would have been put out there. But if you weren't about your reputation was shot eons ago. I just feel like because of the docuseries, it's just been revived and people have been reminded, and that's why they're speaking out, and that's why they're commenting. And regardless of whoever wins in this situation, I feel like now it's just all up to the court of public opinion. People are gonna see Dan Schneider on the street and be like, he's a piece of garbage or whatever the case is, and nobody is like, I don't ever see him getting another gig in Hollywood. So just take your licks, your lashes, cut your losses, and keep it moving. Now, another person who, better hope that he ain't gonna get sued, or the network won't get sued after this tea come out. Let's talk about Nick Carter, who, apparently the network behind Quiet on Set is turning focus on Nick and his brother, who, the dearly departed Aaron Carter. So, according to Variety, Backstreet Boy member Nick Carter and his late brother Aaron Carter, and the controversies and accusations swirling around the both of them, will be the subject of the latest high-profile documentary series on investigation Discovery, coming off the tremendous success of the recent Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. ID and its sister streamer Max will jointly run the 4-part docuseries. Damn, there's another one that's 4 parts. Fallen Idols, Nick and Aaron Carter, over 2 nights on Monday, May 27th and Tuesday, May 28th at 9 p.m. In particular, the series will investigate the accusations of SA against Nick Carter by 3 women, and will also dive into young brother Aaron Carter's struggles with mental health and substance abuse, leading to his death in 2022. Fallen Idols will additionally look at the relationship between the brothers, which took a turn when Aaron Carter began criticizing Nick Carter for those allegations and supporting his accusers. Fuller Idol includes interviews with Melissa Schumann, Ashley Rep, and Shannon Shea Ruth, all of whom have alleged SA by Nick Carter. Also interviewed is an unnamed member of the Carter family, as well as friends, including Nick Carter's ex-girlfriend, Kaya Jones. Wasn't she in Pussycat Dolls? Kaya Jones and Aaron Carter's former fiance, Melanie Martin. Yeah, they're about to spill all the tea. See, this is why your ass should have had them sign NDAs. But I guess Nick Carter thought he wasn't that famous that he ain't need them girls to be signing it. But anyway, I'm here for it. Because if you ain't get them women to sign NDAs when they was in a relationship with you, you best believe I will be sitting there with my popcorn salivating at the mouth watching these 4 parts. But anyway, let's continue. So Schumann, a member, it says Fallen Idol explores the dark side of fame and fraught family dynamics, but also the intense challenges faced by accusers I think it meant to write, who came forward against celebrities and pop culture icons in today's modern world. Schumann, a member of the 2000 girl group Dream. Wasn't that another girl group? Was that girl group part of the whole Diddy situation? Because I think Dream was a part of Bad Boy. They went nowhere, but they was part of the group. But anyway, she accused Nick Carter of assault in a 2017 blog post. She claimed that in 2003, Nick barred her in his Santa Monica apartment while taking a break from shooting the TV horror film The Hollow. When Schumann went public, the LA County prosecutors determined it was outside the 10-year statute of limitations, but Schumann filed suit against Nick in 2023 after a change in California's SA statute of limitation laws. Nick Carter wrote in a 2017 statement, "I am shocked and saddened by Miss Schumann's accusations. Melissa never expressed to me while we were together at any time since that anything we did was not consensual. It is contrary to my nature and everything I hold dear to intentionally cause someone discomfort or harm." Now, in 2022, Ruth filed the battery suit against Nick Carter, claiming he assaulted her and infected her with HPV in February 2001 after a Backstreet Boys concert in Tacoma, Washington. She alleged that Nick invited her back to his tour bus, arred her, and assaulted her when she said she'll tell others about the attack. This claim about an incident that supposedly took place more than 20 years ago is not only legally meritless, but also entirely untrue, Nick Carter's attorney Michael Holt said at the time of filing in a statement to Variety. Unfortunately, for several years now, Miss Ruth has been manipulated into making false allegations about Nick, and those allegations have changed repeatedly and materially, materially over time. There is nothing to this claim whatsoever, which we have no doubt the courts will quickly realize. Meanwhile, according to Rolling Stone, a Jane Doe AR sued Nick in August, alleging he arred her when she was 15 in 2003. The publication also says that Nick is currently suing Schumann, Ruth, and other accusers for defamation. Now, as for Aaron, he was found unresponsive in his home in November of 2022 and declared, deceased. The manner of his death was ruled an accident by the LA County Department of Medical Examiner Coroner, with the first cause of death cited as drowning and the second being difluorothane. I think I said that correct. An ingredient used in cans for compressed air along with Xanax. Isn't that like huffing? When they talk about that when you huff cans of compressed air. But anyway, so don't ask me how I know about that, but but I ain't do it because I like my look. As close I'm gonna get to doing any kind of huffing would be some poppers. But anyway, let's continue. Now, Aaron Carter had previously revealed that he had been diagnosed with multiple mental health issues. He also struggled with substance abuse and was arrested for DUI and lost custody along with Martin to his son over domestic violence and drug concerns. I forgot that Aaron had a child. During this period, Aaron decided to support Nick's accusers while battling addiction and struggling with his own mental health, stoking a very public feud between the two brothers in the lead up to Aaron's tragic death in 2022. Ish Entertainment produces Fallen Items for ID, and, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that was going to go around. Now, I will say this. I'm sure with, a lot of I don't know if anybody in the room was a Backstreet Boys fan. I grew up with the Backstreet Boys. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney, that whole era was my era. The 2000s and stuff, the late 90s, early 2000s. That is my generation of music. I was more or less, I was into the grunge stuff, but I was also into boy bands and all other stuff. Like my music, taste is eclectic. So watching this, I've heard these accusations over the years, and so, we've reported on some of them on this show in the past. I've kind of been like, I don't know if I believe it. I don't, I've always been kind of straddling the fence in regards to believing it, but I wouldn't put nothing past Nick, especially, if you ever saw that reality show that he had with the whole family, where like majority of his siblings are dead. I think it's just Nick and another sister that's alive. I think it's, I don't know if it's Nick's twin. Nick has a twin sister, I believe. Or is it Aaron that had the twin sister? One of them had a twin sister, but I don't know if she's, so it's his Nick and his sister is alive. That's the only two that's left. I think the other siblings passed away. I think it was all into drugs, and that the whole family is kind of messed up. So, and I think the show is going to explore, the docuseries is going to explore a lot of like the family dynamics and a lot of crazy stuff that was going on with the family and all that other stuff. So it kind of shows that maybe he's got a lot of darkness in him from his upbringing and things of that nature. So I just really hope that these producers, the same ones on Quiet on Set, do a phenomenal job of breaking down what's going on with Nick Carter and stuff. Because I'm definitely looking forward to see it. You know what? I would definitely think that maybe, because they've been doing a phenomenal job with really breaking down and diving deep into these celebrities with all these accusations. I would love to see them do a fault, about Diddy and Bad Boy and all that other stuff. Maybe y'all need to be your next one, to go dive deep into the whole Diddy situation. I still haven't seen the one with Diddy on Tubi. I haven't seen that one yet. I do want to get around to watching that, the one TMZ did. But then again, I don't be trusting TMZ, because TMZ, I be side on y'all the way y'all treat black talent versus the white talent that y'all talk about on your platforms. So I don't know. But then again, Aubrey did sit down and do an interview, and Aubrey definitely be spilling some tea. So I just might, for the sake of it, just bite the bullet and watch it. But anyway, are you guys going to be checking out this Fallen Idols Nick Carter docuseries that's going to be coming up at the end of the month? I most certainly will be, and we'll be talking about it and breaking it down like we did with the Quiet on Set docuseries. We're going to talk about it on this here show. So let me know down in the comments below if this is up your alley, and because if y'all watching this messy ass show, this should definitely be up your alley. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so we have a comment. Rose says that Carter family reality show back in the day was a hot FM. See, and that's why I was just talking about. I didn't even read Rose, because after I do the whole topic, because I don't want to get distracted, that's when I go and click over and read the comments and stuff. But I was like, look, you seen it too. And I remember watching I forget what it was called. What was it called? The Carters or whatever? I watched that show when it came on, because I was like I said, I was a Backstreet Boys fan. And then I wasn't really an Aaron Carter fan. He was like a one-hit wonder with the Aaron Come Get It song. So I really wasn't into him. He was basically the Jamie Spears of the Carter clan when it came to the music and the career. But yeah, that reality show was a hot ass mess. I don't know why would Nick agree to do that, but look, reality TV was hot back in those days. Okay, so now, chill, let's move on to this foolishness. Okay, so let's talk about Monique. We do have the clip of her stand-up. We are going to play that in a sec. But look, Monique is on tour currently, with Cat Williams for his Dark Matter tour. She is the opener. So, you're not going to hear her up in here talking about I'm a co-lead, a co-headline. She ain't going to do that shit to Cat that she did to D.L. Hughley. She ain't stupid of doing that again. But anyway, so she was performing as the opening act of Cat Williams' on his Dark Matter tour. And instead of her actually taking the time to tell a damn joke, she did her usual. She got in and started ranting, cussing, acting a damn fool on stage, acting like a bitter Betty over the fact that she still ain't get her little apology from Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. And girl, after this clip, I hope you don't expect to ever get an apology or another job in Hollywood for that matter. I'll give my thoughts on it after we watch the clip as a family, but please hold.
Fuck you, Oprah Winfrey. Fuck you, Tyler Perry. Fuck them two motherfuckers. I said it, nigga. Say it with me. Fuck you, Oprah Winfrey. Fuck you, Tyler Perry. You cool motherfucker. Now some niggas got scared. They was like, you going too far, bitch. I love that black raggedy bitch. I love that black simple-minded motherfucker. I love Oprah Winfrey's black ass. And we just need to bring her back to black. We need to bring that bitch back to motherfucking black. Are you an Oprah Winfrey fan? Yes. Okay, well, I'm not apologizing. For any motherfucking thing I say. What's your name, brother? Bill. What did he say? Melvin, we need you to help us bring that bitch back to black. I need you to bend her the fuck over and fuck her like a Nashville, Tennessee nigga would and bring that bitch back to black. be quiet. You gonna get some money out of it, shit. And every time you see fucking Oprah, you see fucking Gayle. Best friends. Is what they say. I've never seen best friends like that. We ain't seen Stephanie in 30 motherfucking years. Who is loving Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King? Each other! But we don't want to say this shit out loud because it's Oprah fucking Winfrey. I'm too motherfucking old to be scared of this bitch. I'm too old to be intimidated by this bitch. I'm too old to hold the motherfucking truth. You know why I fuck with Oprah Winfrey, Melvin? Because that bitch tried to fuck with me privately. Well, I'm a public bitch. You tried to fuck with me behind closed doors. Bitch, open the door up. Ding dong, I'm gonna let your motherfucking ass in. Now, are you gonna fuck her or not?
Okay, we can pause it there. First of all, I have yet now, and from y'all hearing that clip, at any time that y'all hear a joke and actually laugh, she just went on a whole rant, not only about Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. It's funny how you try to out Oprah, but you ain't trying to out Tyler. So we know about Miss Palmer. Allegedly. But anyway, so Monique out here still going on her little rant. So whatever the case is, you know, Cat Williams, I know people's like, but Cat Williams did to get her off the thing or whatever. It's like, you know what, Cat Williams like all that controversial stuff. He's gonna let, you know, at the end of the day, let Monique say what she won't say. She got a lie on that sword now. If Oprah come after her for defamation, girl, I hope you got enough money in that account to have to pay her and her attorneys, because you know, Oprah gonna come after her ass. Now, at this point, you know what? Now, I will say this. In the past, I have gone hard for Monique, and I was like, you know what, sis? I'm so glad that you have had the ability to come out here and tell your truth, to speak what it is that you need to speak, to call these people out, these powerful figures and stuff, which is what I feel like we're in this era now. And shout out to all of them out there, that's the peaceful protesters. You know, fuck the media and this narrative they're trying to push with that. But I'm so glad this younger generation, you know, the Gen Zers and all the ones that's out there that's peacefully protesting against, you know, this government regime that we have, because y'all being a bunch of damn fat. Y'all think, you know, Trump the fascist. I mean, Biden's showing a little fascism now too, and I voted for him. So, you know, I'm glad that, you know, the Davids of the world is going after the Goliath, which is the regime and stuff, and calling them out over, you know, this whole power situation. And I was with Monique from all the times when she was like, you know what, they treated me a certain type of way and they did all this other stuff and I refused, and then they blackballed me and stuff. So I'm all here for you speaking your truth and getting all that out there. But sis, there has to be a point in your life, because ma'am, you're a little too old for this. Like, you in your 50s, you pushing 60, girl, that you have to, you know, let go and let God, as they say. You need to move on. You need to, like, let it go and keep it pushing. Because while you sitting up here, and this is what I've always learned in life, like, this is why I don't hold grudges about stuff. I used to, back in the day, like, just be mad about some stuff. Just always pissed off. If I saw a person, I'm like, fuck that bitch, you know, this had that whole animosity. And guess what? That person that you sitting there with all that negative energy towards, and you hating, and you getting gray hairs and crow's feet, and you all stressed out, you need a massage because your back and your shoulders is all tensed up and your fingers is looking all like you got carpal tunnel and shit because you all stressed out. Guess what that person over there is doing? Going about their day, going about their life, not giving a fuck about hurting your feelings or feeling the kind of way. So you actually on this stage, going in little rants, you're cussing, you're doing all this other mess. But Tyler Perry and Oprah still living their best life. They still out here doing whatever it is they doing. Tyler busy on his little set out in Atlanta. Well, it's not little, but you know what I mean. He's out in Atlanta making his stuff, his horrible ass shows and movies or whatever that y'all like. I don't particularly care for it because I feel like he need a whole new writer. He need a director. He need a wigologist. He need a whole bunch of people to be on that set. He be trying to be a jack of all trades, but a master of none of them. But I ain't gonna knock the man hustle. Like, he make all his billions or whatever, but the content just don't be content. But if y'all like it, I love it. And Oprah out here doing what she doing. But so what Gayle scissoring? What that got to do with you? Wasn't you bisexual like 5 minutes ago when you went online and told people that you go both ways? Child, quiet as it's kept. I think Sydney do too. But if y'all like it, I love it. Like I said. Now, that's why I said at the end of the day with all of this, you know, Mo, You need to stop being so, like, now you coming across as being bitter. And everybody's looking at you like, girl, you ain't got nothing else better to do than be all still on this. Because when a friend of mine sent this to me yesterday, I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go again. Why this lady still out here just ranting about Tyler Perry and all this other stuff? Like, okay, we got it from Club Shay Shay. We got it from every interview that you've done over the years when you went on the Breakfast Club and you went on this show and you went on that show. It's always the same song and dance. At what point are you going to move on and come up with some new damn material? Like, she's going to be 10 years from now still bitching and moaning about Tyler Perry and Oprah. But you're going to be ranting and raving for the rest of your life because, like I said, Oprah and Tyler Perry don't give two shits and a flying fuck about a goddamn Monique. They're going to still be out here being their rich selves and their elitist selves and acting like they ain't got a care in the world. While Monique out here being bitter, not better, but bitter, scraping by for a little bit of coin to support herself, daddy, and them fucking kids. Meanwhile, you got a whole son that you treat like shit. But you out here being all pissed off about Oprah and some damn Tyler Perry. Like I said in the beginning, I was with you when you was airing out your grievances and all the other stuff about how they treated you. But at some point, you got to let that shit go and you got to be able to move on. Now, this is the part where I feel like people should be like, yeah, it's time to move on, sis. Like, you sound like a broken record at this point. You need to move on. You're never going to get that apology. No, you're never going to get it. In the words of In Vogue, you're never going to get it. So let's just move on. And you ranting and raving about this whole shit, but not telling a damn joke at a comedy, that people paid a whole lot of money for, because I'm sure them tickets wasn't cheap. I don't think they want to hear that. They want some jokes, Modi. It's about time you told some. Instead of being the damn joke. But anyway, Roro says, imagine Monique spent 1% of that energy she has for Oprah and Tyler on rebuilding her relationship with. Why are we on the same page with a lot of the shade today? Because you out here talking shit about everybody else, but your house ain't clean. You need to get Mr. Clean and clean that glass in that house before you start throwing stones at other people. But anyway, I'm looking. I'm getting tired of your shit, in the words of Miss Badu. But speaking of people in Hollywood that people tired of they bullshit, let's talk about Dwayne Johnson, who is facing a new onslaught of allegations that he's an ego-driven star who's difficult to work with a report describing how the muscle-bound former pro wrestler is often hours late to movie sets and fan events and needs to exercise control over others around him. Now, Johnson, as you all know, rose to stardom as a WWE wrestler in the late 90s and early 2000s, but became a household name once he jumped from the ring to the silver screen as a movie star, because we ain't gonna call him an actor. Johnson's reliable star power grew as he made crowd-pleasing movies, including Walking Tall, Get Smart, and Fast Five. But here's the thing. When he did Walking Tall and Get Smart and stuff, that to me was like in the beginning when he was really starting to show his acting chops. But then once he started doing the Fast Fives and all those other films like that, Skyscraper and stuff, it was like, okay, now we're at a point where Dwayne is just playing himself on screen and even trying to act no more. Like, I feel like the closest we're getting to like someone who's from sports in that realm of like, be it wrestling, MMA, that sort of thing, and they've gone into acting and they're being taken seriously as an actor, to me, is Dave Bautista. I like what the approach Dave Bautista has been taking with his career versus the Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson, I already know when I walk up in there what I'm going to get with him. At least with Dave Bautista, I'm liking a lot of his characters. Although I will say this, I did not particularly care for what Denis Villeneuve did with his character in the Dune movies. And particularly Dune 2. Now, I love Dune 2. That's like one of my tops of 2024. But I just didn't like the way his character was utilized in that film. But anyway, let's get back to Dwayne. I was gonna do a side, like take the side street before I get back on the highway. But anyway, car reference. So it says, because Johnson is a wrestler turned actor, there's a general sense that he has worked hard to make it in Hollywood, which is one of the things that I appreciated about Dwayne is because he was someone who came from wrestling. People didn't take him seriously. You know, usually when it comes to athletes who jump into movies and stuff, like we've had a couple, Roddy Piper, I love him and They Live. That's like one of my all-time favorite movies, by the way. But, you know, we have a couple of athletes who jumped in. Then you had Hulk Hogan that tried to be an actor. Child, that was a hot-ass mess. Although, damn, what was the movie? Wasn't a movie where he played a nanny or something or another? Or that's something else. But anyway, we're not going to talk about Hulk Hogan. Fuck him. That racist. But, you know, there have been many people who were in the wrestling world that have tried to jump into the acting space, and they didn't do a really good job. Like I was saying, Hulk Hogan's one of them. Dwayne Eilis was like, you know what? Here's this man of color who jumped into that space and really over the years, you know, through hard work and perseverance, proved himself to be like this big box office draw, which I think also kind of pissed Vin Diesel off because they were similar in body frame, skin color, bald heads, that sort of thing. Although Dwayne a little darker, but you get what I mean. And so when he was jumping into a lot of those type of movies or whatever, it was like, that's why I was like really supporting Dwayne. And I've always heard that he had a good reputation around Hollywood and that, you know, he's a hard worker and stuff. So that's why I was really like into like really supporting anything Dwayne Johnson came out with. Because I felt like, oh yeah, he's like one of us. But child, when this story came out in a couple of days ago from the rap, well, they was about his reputation started to sour in the last 2 years, largely after his attempts to reshape the DCEU with Black Adam, which, you know, flopped at the box office. Then it said when DC Studios announced a new rebooted universe a few months later, Johnson's anti-hero wasn't included. Now, on Tuesday, entertainment news outlet The Wrap reported that Johnson was up to 8 hours late on set when filming the upcoming Christmas-themed action movie Red One, meaning the crew had to shoot around him on some occasions. The outlet also reported that the Red One budget has swollen past $250 million as a result of several production issues, including Johnson's lateness. Now, although Amazon MGM Studios did not clarify the film's budget for the report, a source close to the studio told The Wrap that it is completely normal for there to be a budget fluctuation within 15% of the target, which is exactly what we experienced. Yeah, okay. It also reported that he tried to save time on other sets by peeing in Voss water bottles, which upset crew members. Well, some of them. There's another anonymous source told The Wrap that they said they know the actor who knows the actor well. I'm trying to understand what the hell it said. It's another anonymous source that The Wrap said knows the actor well said. That's what they say in the sentence. On set, away from his trailer, if he needs to pee, he doesn't go to the public bathroom. He pees in a Voss water bottle, and his team or a PA has to dispose of it. That's about as nasty as when they showed that clip. I was watching something. I went down a Jennifer Lopez rabbit hole the other day. And somebody showed a clip of like, you know, why she's so problematic and all this other stuff. And they showed her spit her gum in her assistant's hand. I think she was filming a movie or she was doing a shoot or something. And I'm like, first of all, that shit is disgusting. I understand that y'all pay y'all assistants or people in y'all team a lot of money. But yeah, I'm not touching your bodily fluids. I'm not wiping your ass. I'm not throwing away your pee in a bottle. You're not spitting in my hand with no fucking gum. That is disgusting. Especially with COVID and all this other stuff that was going around. Yeah, and the, you know, every now and again when I turn my head, there's a new damn virus or something coming up every other year. It seemed like we getting a new damn, you know, immunodeficiency virus. I was like, oh hell no. I do not like stuff like that. That is disgusting. So, but then they said that this stems from the fact that because, you know, Dwayne Johnson, if you look at his body, he works out a lot. So I think they said he works out 4 hours a day. So he says that he goes to gyms that don't have bathrooms. So what he did was when he would go to the gyms, he says because he drinks a lot and he has to stay pretty hydrated with the amount of intense workouts that he does, that he takes the bottles and he pisses in them. And I'm like, first of all, what gym do you go to that don't have a damn bathroom? That makes no kind of sense. Are you outdoors? Because I would assume that every gym has a restroom. I just think he just don't want to go in there because he don't want nobody to slip their iPhone somewhere and take a picture while he mid-piss or whatever the case is. So I don't know. If there's any gyms that y'all ever heard of or been to that have no bathrooms, let me know. Because I've been to a gym where there was no showers. But I've never been to a gym where there's no bathroom. Because there has to be a place where there's locker rooms or something, or where people can use a urinal. But anyway, we'll entertain this buffoonery. So they said that it's not the first. Well, I read that part. Well, I was explaining it here, so I don't have to read that. Now let's move on down. It says, now in a statement to the Wrap, a spokesperson for Amazon MGM Studios says Dwayne Johnson and $7 have been incredible partners on Red One, a film that audiences of all ages are going to love this holiday season. Well, that is to be determined. So y'all can sit up here and spin this any way you want. But we need to see footage. But I did hear, they said their testing has been very strong. The reaction from CinemaCon speaks for itself, and we could have made it without Dwayne's constant work. Now, from what I've heard, is that it was shown at CinemaCon, but it wasn't shown at CinemaCon to any, like, YouTubers, pundits, things of that nature. There was a select group of reporters that got to see some footage, and of course, you know how some of this industry is. If they select a certain amount of people in certain situations, they expect y'all to give a good review, which is why I like a lot of these pundits that do get to go to these events, and they'll give me honest opinions on it. Like if I watch John Campea, I know he's going to tell the truth in regards of whether or not the footage was good or not. And those are the people that I trust. Speaking of John Campea, he did reveal on his show the other day when he talked about this. Shout out to him, by the way. I am a fan of his show. He was saying something or another about that he reached out to a friend of his that worked with Dwayne Johnson back in the day. I forget the name of the movie that I think it was Rampage. I think it was Rampage they worked on. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But he said that it was somebody that worked on the film. He texted him because he said, I don't believe this story. Like, from all the things, the reputations, and I guess he met him. He said, nice guy, whatever. You know, he's met him. He wanted to know if there was some truth to this. So the friend wrote bullshit in the text. But I guess he said that he misread the text because he was like, he thought he was saying the story was bullshit. What he was saying was the story was actually accurate, and how Dwayne basically screwed him and them when they were working on the film because of his lateness and a whole bunch of other stuff that was going on. So the tardiness is actual fact. And then there was a story that came out that I saw Page Six do, where they said that he was late on the set of Red Notice, the movie he did with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. Ryan Reynolds got so fed up with him over the damn lateness that he actually pulled him to the side and had a chat with him. There were some people that were trying to sensationalize and make it seem like they were about to go to blows. He said it didn't get that far. It basically was, he pulled him to the side and said, dude, like, they're ballooning, the budget's ballooning. There's a lot of stuff going on. You got to show up early to work or whatever the case is. Like, you know. And they said after that, Dwayne started showing up to work on time. There was no issues after that. But here's the thing. Dwayne Johnson's in his 50s, correct? Why I got to talk to a grown-ass man about showing up on time to work? Like, I think anybody who works a job knows that you're supposed to show up on time when you have a job to do. But he's showing up late. Now, I am, and another thing that I just didn't get was the fact that, you know what, Dwayne was out here talking all this mess about, I was like, let me pull up a little photo or whatever. Of him. Dwayne was out here talking all this mess, right? And calling out the people on the set of The Fast and the Furious, why he left. With Vin Diesel, to call them candy asses and unprofessional and all this other stuff. And here you go doing the same damn thing. And we was with you with that. Sidebar, I did hear some tea that came out today that Fast and the Furious 11 is going to start filming in 2025. So I'm guessing the movie ain't coming out to 2026. So that's a long time between, you know, gaps or whatever. They said it was due to the writer's strike or whatever. But yeah, them scripts been a mess for the past couple of movies. So I don't know why y'all try to use writer's strike as an excuse. I just hope that the script is gonna be good this time. I don't know if Dwayne Johnson's gonna be in that. He's supposed to get his solo spin-off from the post-credit scene that we saw in Fast 10. So I don't know if he's gonna appear in this film. But sir, I feel like if you are gonna sit up here and talk mess about Fast and the Furious and all these other people and being unprofessional, I think you need to lead by example and show, like, you know, you need to be showing up on time. And you can't be out here talking mess about people if you're not walking the walk. So I'll definitely be keeping abreast of the story as it develops. They say he was showing up late to meet and greets and all kinds of other stuff too. So it wasn't just movie sets, but I like Dwayne. I feel like that it started to go downhill for him since Black Adam. But look, if you're not going to show up and do the job, they're going to nurture someone else who'll be willing to step up to the plate. I don't know if it's going to be Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista's got his good career going, and his career is blossoming in its own way in the direction that he's taken. Then you have John Cena, who I believe is currently shooting Peacemaker season 2. So his career is doing what needs to be done, but I don't know who the next generation action movie star athlete is. I don't think it's Conor McGregor. I mean, I like seeing his ass in that Roadhouse movie. That was about it. But that acting was it was a hot ass mess for me. But anyway, I just want to bring that up and let me know what you guys think about this story down below. Y'all still fans of Dwayne Johnson? Like me, I still like him, but yeah, this whole unprofessional stuff, sir, you got to do better with that. Like, you have a huge reputation to uphold. Continue to uphold it. All right, so let's move on and let's talk about Mauricio Umansky, who seems like he has moved out of that house with his soon-to-be ex-wife, or strange wife, Kyle Richards, and he's got himself a condo, a luxury condo. They said in West Hollywood. You know who's out in West Hollywood? Let me not imply anything. So according to page 6, they said Umansky has moved out of his and Kyle Richards' shared home and into a luxury condo in West Hollywood. And this is according to Us Weekly. That's who's reporting it. Furthermore, the agency founder reportedly now has an A-list neighbor. An insider told the outlet he purchased the residence in the same building where Matt Damon owns an $8.6 million unit. While Richards, who's 55, reportedly plans to stay put, as she should, let her keep the house. Another source noted that Umansky, 53, will visit the primary residence often while she's out of town. Oh, that's a good thing. It was like, yeah, I'll show up when you're not there. Just let me know when you're not there and I'll pop up at the house. But I think this is perfect. Like, me personally, if I was ever in a situation like Kyle, I would get me a condo. Quiet as it's kept. I would, even if I wasn't married, that's always been something that I've always wanted. I said I would always get me a condo with a doorman, all this stuff. And now, if I wanted to have, okay, so my dream is this. It's not going to be a dream. I'm going to make this shit a reality. Trust and believe. I'm going to get me a condo when I'm working in the city, as Mr. Media and all the other stuff. And in the summertime, my residence where I'll be going, I probably have a share in Fire Island, or I would have like a residence with like a pool and all this other stuff, either in New Jersey or Long Island. Like, I would do something of that nature, or I'd probably go Philly or Connecticut, because that's like 2 hours outside of New York. But if I'm working in New York and doing more media stuff, I gotta have the condo, high rise, doorman, the works, that sort of thing. Because I'm too lazy to mow a lawn. Like, when I was growing up, I never mowed the lawn. My father was the one who did the lawn mowing. He was the one that maintained the grass and all the other stuff. He never let us touch any of that stuff. So they said, furthermore, it says now, the arrangement appears to follow the natural pattern their busy lives created before the real estate moguls move. They've both been traveling a lot recently, so it's working out where they don't stay under one roof. Reps for Umansky and Richards did not reply to page 6's request for comment. Now, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star and Umansky separated in July of 2023 after 27 years. But they were living under the same roof. They seem to be living separate lives. We didn't really know the drastic measure of what was going on with them until they started talking about it. Well, we started hearing more about it in the press, more so than on the show, because they never really talked about their whole splitation and all that stuff. Hopefully we'll get that on the upcoming season, which I'm sure they're going to start filming very soon, because all this stuff that's going on, they really got to get those cameras and stuff up. And they also said that Umansky was overheard talking about moving out in March while on a boys' trip to Aspen. The Halloween Kills actress has been candid about the ups and downs she's faced throughout their separation, including in November of last year, where she broke down in tears about the regret she feels that they cannot find their happily ever after together. Well, I think what it is that, look, I'm tired of people trying to sell this whole happily ever after thing. That's that fairy tale bullshit. Let Jennifer Lopez and her evil stepmother ass over there keep having those fantasies about happily ever after. I don't believe in any of that fairy tale stuff. And I hate that we are conditioned and grown up in a time where people are to believe that. I don't think anything is supposed to last forever. I think a lot of things last a reason for a reason in a season. And marriages, I don't think are meant to last forever. I think at times, the older you get, I feel like people outgrow each other. And from the looks of things, it seemed like Kyle and Mauricio have outgrown each other. First of all, once he separated himself from being beholden to Rick Hilton and working for him and getting at that point of like, okay, now I've done all the real estate stuff under you. Now can you make me partner? He's like, well, I talked to the people and they didn't want it. Okay, so now I'm going to leave you. I'm going to take my clients and all the other people that I work my ass off to make your brand and your company millions and millions of dollars, or maybe it's billions. I don't know. I haven't checked, the numbers. Excuse me. And I'm going to create the agency. And now the agency has become this big entity. And he's got the reality show. I don't know how well the numbers are over there. It's in the second season. And then with him building that, I feel like it's affected his marriage to Kyle. And plus, Kyle, I feel like at this point, because a lot of women are raised to just be so attached and beholden to their men. Now, I guess with the Real Housewives, and I know a lot of people give the Housewives a lot of shit in regards of what the show is about. One of the things I've always noticed about the Real Housewives that I'll applaud them on is the fact that a lot of these women tend to find their independence through that show. So it's always, because you'll see a lot of times these women will be the wives of some wealthy guy or whatever the case is, and then they'll end up getting a divorce and they'll have to find their footing. Or you see with Kyle, when they get the brand deals and all the other stuff, they start to get to this point in their life. Then, you know what? I'm older. I'm going through my midlife crisis, and now I'm looking at things, and I want to change up my persona. I want to I want more out of things. I don't want to have to be sitting here waiting for this man to come home because he's busy traveling from this place, this place, opening up this agency in this part of the world, and I barely see my husband. And we allegedly heard the stories about Mauricio out here laying it over and spreading it wild with other people. So I'm sure she was tired of dealing with that too. So I just feel like at this point, when the kids are grown, except Portia, I do feel bad for her because she's still young and the parents aren't going to be together. But at some point, if the relationship ain't working no more, don't stay in it. Go your separate ways. Let Mauricio do what he doing over there. Kyle do what she doing over there, probably up under Morgan. Get her box 8 by that woman. And we'll see all that play out on the new season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills whenever they get that to shooting. So, good luck to y'all. Okay. So I wouldn't mind if Meryl Streep showed up late to the set, but what kind of preparation is The Rock? That's another thing too. When I was hearing about that, I know people was like, "Oh, he's really busy." I'm like, "Doing what?" Like, I understand, like he's got his hands in a lot of business deals and endorsement deals, and he's got the WWE, and I think he also has like some sports thing that he's a partner of and stuff. But that's why you have people who handle that while when you're making a movie for 3 months, or sometimes depending on the type of film you're doing, like some movies go on for half a year, but the standard movie is like 90 days. Sometimes if it's a real independent film, it's shorter than that. But depending on the length of the movie, let's just say 3 months. You need to devote 3 months of that time to that film, and you need to be there on time for them 14 to 16 hours that you're going to be working. Instead of worrying about everything else. That's what I got all my business people to be dealing with all of that. Let me know in a text or whatever the case was. We'll have a little, a Zoom meeting, whatever the case is. Catch me up on some stuff. But when I am in the middle of doing a movie, I need to focus on that and give 110%. You shouldn't be going on disappearing for 8 damn hours. Like, that don't make no kind of sense. But anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about, speaking of relationships that have split, let's talk about Miss Britney, who is now out from under. So Britney Spears has reached a settlement to finalize her divorce from husband Sam Asghari, according to court documents obtained by Billboard. Now, less than a year after the pair announced that they would end their 14-month marriage, attorneys for both Spears and Asghari filed paperwork Wednesday in LA court to end the proceedings. The filings say that the uncontested divorce is bound by a written agreement regarding their property and spousal support. Now, Asghari filed for divorce from Spears in August, citing irreconcilable differences, which is what they always pick. The pair had dated since they met on the set of Slumber Party, her music video, back in 2016 before getting engaged in September of 2021. So that was like, what, a good 5 years. And it's funny how like the engagement and the being the girlfriend boyfriend is so much better than when you get to the marriage, because it's like the minute you get married it feels like the dynamic tends to change. But anyway, so it says they soon tie the knot in a star-studded LA wedding ceremony in June of 2022, which featured a gate crashing incident by a man Spears had briefly married in 2004. Now, following the series of the news of the divorce, Asghari said at the time, "We will hold on to the love and respect we have for each other, and I wish her the best always." In her own statement, Spears said, "6 years is a long time to be with someone, so I'm a little shocked, but I'm here to explain why, because it's honestly nobody." Girl, that made no damn sense. Nobody's business. Anyway, the mention on Wednesday's legal filings of the written agreement is likely to reference to a prenuptial agreement. Now, when the pair met in 2022, TMZ reported that Asghari has signed an ironclad prenup, which means that he doesn't get a dollar from the fortune Brit made up to his point. To this point, sorry. Their legal agreements are a standard procedure for celebrities who have a large disparity in assets with the new spouse, since state law could potentially require splitting property in the event of divorce. Now, beyond referencing such an agreement, Wednesday's filings included little detail, as Asghari's attorney said that he would give up forever any right to receive spousal or partner support, except for what is listed in their settlement agreement. The extent to which Spears pays for his legal bills is also governed by the written contract. Excuse me. And it said the agreement was signed by attorneys for both sides. Spears was represented by Laura Wasser, who's a divorce specialist for celebrities, and a longtime personal attorney, Matthew Rosengard, who also handled her long conservatorship battle. Asghari is represented by Neil Hirsch, another well-known celebrity divorce attorney, and they haven't heard anything back from them, whatever. Well, look, I'm glad that it's unfortunate and sad that they kind of parted ways. I actually like Britney and Sam together, and I actually think that Sam genuinely cared about her. I just think the issue that happened with them is that Sam wasn't equipped to handle Britney when she would have her episodes, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. So I don't feel like he was just there to equipped to handle what needed to be handled, and he shouldn't have to. He's a husband. He's someone who loves her. He's not a medical professional. And when Britney is not on her meds, I'm sure you're gonna get that manic type situation. So y'all can sit up in here and be all blue in the face and try to act like that Britney don't got mental problems, because she does. But it is what it is. Well, look, according to Daily Mail, this story came out today. And then I'm just pulled up on my phone. So please hold. So it says, Britney Spears sparks mental health crisis concerns at Chateau Marmont in LA as barefoot star is pictured wrapped in a blanket and attended to by emergency services, a scene reminiscent of her 2008 breakdown. Now, Britney Spears sparked mental health crisis concerns at the Chateau Marmont in the early hours of Thursday morning as shock photos showed the barefoot star wrapped in a blanket being escorted out to emergency services. In scenes reminiscent of her 2008 meltdown, Spears, 42, has sparked increasing concern with her recent behavior and is claimed to be completely dysfunctional. That was a story we talked about the other day. Was seen clad in her underwear, clutching a pillow and appearing distressed after she left the hotel. Spears had abrasions on her knees, appeared to be topless, and looked disheveled as she held the pillow to her chest, with her security surrounding her and felon ex-Paul Richard Solis. This is the second time we've seen her with that ex-felon. The first time was when she had the whole conservatorship thing with her father, where she had to pay his legal bills and a whole bunch of other stuff, and she was pissed off about that. She was slouched down in the chair with the ugly-ass brown shoes I always talk about, her feet on the damn window, and Paul Richard Solis was in the driver's seat, covering his face while the paparazzi was snapping the photos. So it says it has been claimed the pair got into a huge fight and that a woman matching Britney's description was harassing and threatening hotel employees and guests. A man was seen wheeling a stretcher with the star's belongings on it, with a fire truck also seen at the Hollywood Hotel. It also goes on to, I really wish I could find that article and pull that shit up right now for y'all to see it. So it says Spears, so y'all can see the photos. It says Britney also posted a concerning Instagram message which claimed the photos were of body doubles and said she was getting stronger every day. Was it stronger than yesterday? Okay, let's get serious. Now, she wrote, most of the pics are body doubles, and I think most know that. She loves using 3 exclamation points whenever she talks. I would like respect at this time for people to understand I'm getting stronger every day. Truth sucks, so can someone teach me how to lie? Goddesses out here. I'm reaching my higher power, and furthermore, I hope you guys are too. I need a new toothbrush right now. P.S. I need an espresso. P.S.S. Not sure why I feel. Okay, I'm not gonna read any more of her posts because her posts never make no damn sense. She always put exclamation points, question marks, and she uses conjunction, junction, wish, or function. Like, it's a whole bunch of shit she be using in her posts. And I just be like, sis, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you never make sense. She remind me of another friend of mine who always be commenting on my posts on social media. I'd be like, are you on drugs? Like, sometimes you don't be making no damn sense with shit. Or if I post something of a celebrity, topics, whatever, I'm like, this don't even make sense with what I even wrote, but whatever. Anyway, let's get back to this. Then they said the star deleted this post and replaced it with an almost identical statement. She wrote, just to let people know the news is fake. She loves posting things and then deleting it, by the way. The star concluded the statement by trying to explain why she felt compelled to explain herself while declaring the major. Okay, so let's get to the rest of the thing in regards of what's going on with the whole hotel situation. So it says, LAFD spokesman Brian Humphrey told DailyMail.com emergency services received a call at 12:42 a.m. with reports of an adult female injured. At 1 a.m., an ambulance arrived on the premises. I can confirm no one was transported. Services left the scene at 1:17 a.m. The police department were not called. TMZ reports Spears arrived at the hotel late Wednesday night, with police called after a disturbance with a woman matching the singer's description, reportedly harassing and threatening hotel employees and guests. Attending officers found no signs of trouble and left. Okay, so it says the pair then returned to their room around 11 p.m. where the pair wait. I was trying to say, is there anything prior to that? No, it's just a bunch of damn pictures of Britney outside in look like granny panties, topless. She got a little gut. She literally looked like the goddamn Gerber baby with a weave. That's what she looked like. If y'all look at the pictures and stuff online, y'all find it. I'm reading this on my phone. I didn't have it on the website. I mean, on this thing, so I couldn't mirror it on StreamYard so y'all can get the dramatics. But I'm giving y'all the dramatics with the read. So it says the pair then returned to their room around 11 p.m. where they partied and drank. They are said to have gotten into a huge physical altercation where Spears may have hurt her leg. It was claimed Spears was screaming and out of control in the hallway of her suite and with several guests thinking she was having a mental breakdown, so paramedics were called. Spears did not get into the ambulance and is said to have left for her security and without Solis. Earlier this year in February, the toxic hitmaker shut down rumors that she was dating Paul in an Instagram video. Well, she's been hanging out with him a lot lately. Maybe he's giving her dick, because we already know Britney likes penis and she loves sex. So she's getting it in where it could fit in, where she could fit in, or whatever. So alongside a reel of the star showing off her dance skills, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Okay, so y'all got the gist. And then they point out about how he's got multiple felonies, such as possession of a firearm in December 2022, when he was employed by the singer. Also in September 2023, Solis was seen at the San Fernando Superior Court after allegedly violating his probation. So, look, I hope it wasn't no situation where y'all was having too much to drink and y'all started, coming to throwing them bowls or whatever. Like, I hope it wasn't no physical type of situation. But I don't know. I just feel like Britney needs help. I feel like we need to stop beating around the bush. You Britney fans, I'm sorry, you stans, y'all need to wake the fuck up. Y'all need to wake up and realize this girl needs help. Something is going on with her. I understand, like, what? I wish that she had, her kids Preston and Jaden in her life to be there with her and all the other stuff. But unfortunately, they don't want nothing to do with her. They're busy out in Hawaii with their father. I believe that their situation is coming to an end soon, where, you know, the child support payment, she's running around, and, you know, we talked about it the other day, how she's running around in and out of hotels, staying at hotels all the time. So now she's got this guy running with her. And we don't know what his intentions are. I wish she had somebody who truly cares about her, like Sam. From what I, you know, saw, that he really genuinely cared about her. I wish she had somebody in her life who really had her back and really cared for her. But you're partying, you're drinking, probably not taking your medication, or if you are taking your meds, you're mixing medication and alcohol. I really feel like I wish this girl could get like a mental health check or whatever the case is. But you know what? She's grown. She's not in the conservatorship anymore. If medical, you know, people show up and they want to check you for whatever the case is, you can refuse medical attention. That is her right as an American. So I guess we could pray for her, but I'd be tired of hearing that shit, because if I would pray for Britney, what them prayers gonna do? With an accidental OD? Like all these other ones that y'all be out here prayers up for this person, but then when they no longer part of the union, y'all come with your woulda, coulda, shouldas, and want to talk about you missed the artist. But where was y'all when they was alive, needing that damn help? But you know what? At the end of the day, people, you know, she has to want the help. You can't help those who don't want to help themselves. So all I can say is good luck, girl. We're gonna be watching. I'm gonna keep an eye on this story as it develops. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Let me know what y'all think down below. And I don't want no people coming up in here with no damn excuse. Britney going through some shit. I mean, it's obvious. Who leaves a hotel room with a pillow covering their damn titties, they bloated stomach exposed, a blanket over them, and no damn shoes? Because we seen Whitney do the same damn thing. We saw Whitney come out of the hotel room. Not hotel, she came out of somewhere, and she was barefoot. Remember, I think when she was in and out of rehab, they showed her she got out barefoot, got in the car, wig disheveled, had her robe on, no shoes, and she was going through it. And now we see Wendy's in a conservatorship. Britney was the same way. She used to go into them damn public bathrooms with no shoes. I was like, ooh, you a nasty broad. But then she from Louisiana, so you know how that white trash is, where y'all be walking around barefoot everywhere. I remember growing up, my parents was against that. I was like, I'm just going to the backyard. I can run around the backyard with nope. My mother was not here for that. She was like, y'all put some shoes on. You're not coming from this ain't the country. You ain't coming up in here with nothing on your feet. And you know the concrete jungle in New York, them ground is way different than them country grounds. We be having like life-size rats the size of horses. You know, so we got that. But anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about Vinny Guadagnino, who, Saba, I always love me some Vinny. I feel like out of all the people on Jersey Shore, you know, everybody was talking about Paulie was the cute one, or Ronnie, because Ronnie gave you that typical, you know, muscles, you know, real cute, whatever. I was always a Vinny fan. Vinny, I was always looking at him like, oh, he was the one I wanted to, you know, I do some nasty shit too. But anyway, let me not be a pervert, and let's get to some seriousness. So Vinny, who apparently I had no idea had a podcast, you know, they said him and the Horrible Decisions host combined their podcasts in an episode released about a week ago. The Jersey Shore alum hosts Something Went Wrong with Vinny. Now, 13 minutes in, and I have the clip, we're going to play it, Vinny shared his preference for black women after one of his co-hosts spoke about dating a black man. The co-host retold the story about a black woman who told her Vin was pursuing a date. So, when one of the co-hosts responded, I thought it was Paulie D, Vinny replied that they have similar tastes. The co-host then asked him to specify his preference, saying, as in chocolate. Vin confirmed with a little laugh. And then he revealed why he's into black women. So without further ado, let's get to that clip. Please hold.
Similar TV to you. I was like, actually, Oh yeah, I almost date exclusively black women.
This is how I used to dress 6 months ago. And this is me now. And it's all thanks to my...
How this going to just start that mess again? Let's rewind that because that pissed me off. It's like literally I had the whole thing set up and everything. They didn't want to play a damn ad in the middle of the show. But anyway, let's go back. Take 2 in action. Let's play that
Looking
clip.
for, right? And I think with you, I can't imagine how much more difficult it is because it's got to be this thing of like, well, I never watched it. Or
If I ever went on a date with you, I'd show up with one of those hats with the dreads hanging out of
No,
there.
you
with
wouldn't.
and I'd be like, oh, this is the way I dress
I
today.
met a black girl who told me that you were trying to go on a date with her. She was like, yeah, I was dating someone at the time. And
Oh God, how is this going to turn out?
oh, I can't wait to tell you later. I was like, ooh, for real? You like black girls? I was like, I'm trying to
Yes,
show him.
yes.
Wait. Was it a bad thing?
No, she's hot. I'm just saying.
No, but what was the story? Is it?
Yeah,
can you
what's the
say
story?
it?
Now you gotta
Oh,
say the
Okay,
story.
I'll tell you later. I was like, was it bad?
TV.
I'll cut it out.
And similar TV to you. I was like, actually,
Oh yeah, I almost date exclusively black women.
what?
Only
Tell
black
us more. I
women.
thought that was Pauly D.
No, we have similar tastes.
As in chocolate or just like
yeah, chocolate. Yeah, but he actually he's more known for it because he's been with his girl now for like 3 years, a Jamaican girl.
Why black women?
The studies are the rumors are true.
Which is?
Once you go black.
Oh, okay.
Man, you knew.
I was gonna say black of the berry, the sweet of the
Oh, yeah.
juice. Like, I was going with just
That
another
too.
one.
They're all true.
You know what I
all
mean?
the studies are true.
Is it because you like to eat? Do you like that? You feel like black women get you more in check? Like, what is it?
Nah, I
kinda
just
like
find
that.
them really beautiful, and I like thicker, like kind of like slim thicker and shit. So
Okay.
they sometimes
They have
they're more have a probability of having curves than like skinny white girls.
Okay.
When you go out
And then
with white girls-
culturally too, like I get along with black people better than like Latinas or something like that because they have curves too. They're, you know what I mean? But like culturally, I don't know. I just like
That's
I've
right.
always gotten along with like black people more.
when you
Yeah,
start
but
dating
black
white
girls
women in
every day.
between, what happens?
You said what?
He'll DM me like a beautiful black girl every day. Only.
Really? Who's
Never
your
a white
top
girl.
three?
Like monster asses though.
Yeah.
Like those are kind of like I'm being funny.
No, but he'll. Those are, but
Okay,
usually.
so, hold on.
Sounds-
So I'll just pause it there. I just want to leave it on Vinny for a second. So, so basically, you want to know something? I found nothing wrong with what he said in regards to this. I know some people was feeling like, because I did have some people hit me up and they were like, I don't know how I feel about that. That sounds like a little fetishizing or whatever the case is. And, I always look at it as like, okay, he's an East Coast guy. And I think it's from, they're all from, I think all from like Jersey, whatever. But, he's an East Coast, Staten Island, actually. That's where he's from. I forgot. So that's part of the 5 boroughs. And you know what you are culturally surrounded by. And Vinny is the type of guy I feel that, you know what, this is a very common if you're from the East Coast. A lot of Italian guys love black women. And they like black guys too. But I'm not saying that Vinny's gay or whatever. I'm just saying like, a lot of Italian men, they freaks. They like a little, they like women with a little meat on their bone. And Vinny is one of those types. Vinny likes girls with meat on their bones. And I don't know why this would be a shock to anyone. I just feel like, I love the fact that they're having this conversation. Yeah, he could be a little more PC with the way he's saying it, whatever. But look, they're all cracking jokes. Black and the berry, sweet of the Jews. These are all the phrases that we all say. I didn't find anything inappropriate with what he said. And so everybody calm down. Because I know, like, I had some people slide in my DMs when I first posted this clip on my Instagram in the stories. And so it was like, I feel ways about it. And then I had someone else who was like, I got some thoughts on it. I was like, well, sis, let me know what you think. So, I don't find anything wrong with interracial relationships. I'd say one of my favorite, look, Robert De Niro is notorious for dating black women. So much so that he put it in his directorial debut, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, A Bronx Tale. I freaking love that movie. Especially with Lila Brancato. I mean, homicides and everything aside, with his past. I loved him as Calogero in that movie. And Terrell Hicks, when she was up in that film too, and then the fact that he went on the other side and he met that girl and he liked the black girl and all that other stuff and was willing to forego all the racist stuff that he was dealing with from his part of town in the Bronx to be with this black girl and ditch his racist friends who all got killed in the end. To them. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, when he said this, I'm like, okay, I definitely could see that he's dating black girls. And Paulie looks like the type that he's down with the swirl too. That he likes women of color, that they're similar to like when if you know a lot of these Italian women, they have a fixation on ass. They like booty, they like curves, they ain't gotta, they don't want these fake having these women that get fixed or flat injected in their ass like them damn Kardashians, or a lot of you girls that go down to the trans women's, apartments in them basements in the Bronx to get all that shit injected up in your butt. Other stuff, just so that way y'all can have them bodies that these black women naturally are born with. So shout out to all the men like the Vinny Guadagninos and the Paulie D's or the Paulie Delvecchios, or, all you Italian boys out there, you Staten Island, but child, let me tell you, these boys out here, these Italian boys in New York, they built something kind of different. And then also I'll say this, I grew up around Guidos, like growing up, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, Brownsville, Brooklyn, but then my parents moved us out, towards, more or less into Queens when we were kids. I lived closer to, growing up, I lived closer to Long Island, like Nassau County and stuff, more so than like Astoria, Jackson Heights, that sort of thing. Those parts of Queens. So I grew up around Guidos. So like when Jersey Shore and that came out, I was like, oh, I know them kids. I knew a Snooki type. Like I didn't know them, but I knew a Snooki. I knew the J Wows. I knew the Paulie D's. I knew the Vinnies. I knew, I knew the situations. Like I knew that whole type of vibe. And even me working at the Garden, there's so many people there that live out in Long Island and Staten Island, that sort of thing. So I know those types. And that's why I said they built kind of them boys be cute. So don't sleep on the Italians. Shout out to y'all. But anyway, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Do y'all think that Paulie D was fetishizing? I don't think he was. Like I know a fetishization. And then again, if you're respectful about it, what's wrong with having something that's considered like a fetish of sorts? Like, I don't think people should be seen as a fetish, but we all have our things that we like. Maybe, I guess, feet would be considered a fetish, or armpits. That's considered a fetish, or having an ass fetish. Maybe that's why you say you say he gets along closer with black women, black people than anything, because it's like, culturally, I think Italians, black folks, come from big families, mama's boy, that sort of thing. So there's that camaraderie is similar. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, so it's a question is Vinny keeping his dog meat on the side? And then I remember I was like, and look, on top of that, also, look, the word on the curb is Vinny well endowed. Remember when Snooki said that he had a big one? So I believe it. Vinny packing between me down there. But anyway, let's move on. And child, I gotta show y'all this clip. This clip was a whole damn cackle when I first saw it. So there was a story that I came across earlier, because I love that little Kim dance. When she go, that stupid dance that she always do. That shit is iconic. That she did from the Quiet Storm, from Mobb Deep. May one of them rest in peace, because they passed away. I think they had the sickle cell and stuff. But anyway, so a woman by the name of Shariah Taylor was interviewed outside of her apartment complex in Alabama. She recounted to WTVY News 4 how she narrowly avoided injury after hearing 7 shots on April 26, attributing her escape to the rapper's signature moves. Now, I don't want to read y'all this thing. Just watching her expression and everything about it was the cackle that I needed. I didn't think I needed on my bingo card, but we definitely, she cried me all the way up. So please hold. Let's play this clip.
So, if you could, Ms. Taylor, just talk a little bit first about, what all you saw and heard last night. Just kind of take me through whenever you noticed something was going on and what you witnessed as well.
Okay, so boom. I'm outside. I was waiting on my mama, and I'm just walking, minding my business. Then somebody called me. They're like, hey, you see them fighting over there? So I lean to the side. I'm leaning, trying to see, because I stay ducked off. So then I see some people throwing hands. I'm like, what's going on? But I couldn't tell who it was, so I minded my business. And that's your best bet to do in situations like this, is mind your business.
Perfect. And so obviously ended up resulting in somebody getting shot. Did you hear the gunfire? If so, take me through that moment.
So I'm walking to the car, and I got my baby with me. We already heard a few gunshot rounds, but I ain't think nothing of it. Nobody didn't hear no screaming. So I'm getting to the car. I hear fire, 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 fire. At least by 7 rounds. So I'm ducking, I'm dodging, I'm ducking, I'm dodging, I'm ducking, doing little Kim, trying to get my baby in the car, and I throw my baby in the back seat, and we just sped off. Next thing you know, a driver was driving past. I couldn't identify the vehicle, but Lord, I hope they catch him, Lord.
So now knowing that somebody was shot here, and not only that, but somebody was shot here earlier in the same complex earlier this month. So 2 shootings in a month. Kind of take me through how you feel. I know you said you had your baby, so obviously you're a mother. Kind of take me through your feelings as a mother and somebody being here. And with 2 shootings in a month.
I'm a single mother, so I'm doing this by myself. And, sometimes I don't feel safe. I be kind of paranoid out here sometimes. I be scared. But that's why I say you got to mind your business and stay to yourself. Because me personally, I don't get into it with nobody. I don't do none of that because I mind my business, stay to myself. And that's my information and not my, what's it called? My advice to y'all.
There you go.
Advice.
So, you know what? So, the moral of this story is mind your business and stay to yourself. That's what you do. Because that's what she said. Now, you know what? I was living for her. I was like, we need more people like her to be on TV. But then, you know what? Some people are like, okay, y'all just be finding the most ghetto, the most ignorant ass people. Look, I was entertained by it. I needed that cackle today. Today was just a crazy day. So, you know what? In the future, if y'all want to be out here dodging bullets like Neo in the Matrix, the moral of the story is do that Lil' Kim dance. Watch the Quiet Storm video. Do the whole Lil' Kim dance. And child, I guarantee you what's probably going to happen. I don't know. Was Little Kim? No, Little Kim was Atlantic. Was Atlantic part of Universal? I don't know. But anyway, y'all do the TikTok channel into the Quiet Storm. Like, get that Little Kim part and start doing that Little Kim dance. We need that to go viral because Little Kim, in my opinion, is the blueprint for a lot of these girls that's out here doing what they doing in regards of, that type of slut hip hop. That's what we'll call it. Scantily clad to my coochie and your designer clothes and all that stuff. Little Kim was doing that. Plus, Little Kim is an icon within the LGBTQ community. She's been on the cover of Out magazine. She's been on the cover of a lot of gay publications, especially in New York, where we used to have HX and Next magazine. Little Kim has been on those covers. I have them somewhere in my parents' attic. Because I use their attic for storage since I be moving around like a damn gypsy a lot. But so yeah, all my stuff is like Little Kim has been an icon within the industry. And yeah, her music wasn't pop per se, but she has definitely been someone of an icon for a lot of queer, people who love hip hop and the genre of what she was doing. So shout out to her. Shout out to this Alabama woman who gave me my entire life with that the description of what happened. She ain't telling y'all who the shooter was because she said she didn't see nothing. So shout out to her. Sometimes I gotta bring a little some funny messiness to the show. But anyway, so let's move on and let's talk about, we got like 3 more topics. This is one of the 3. So let's talk about Sherry Pie Child because she's back in the news. Unfortunately, she's trying to have this career comeback, but at this point, I just feel like ain't nobody checking for Sherry. Like, Sherry, girl, your career is done, but you get an A for effort. So anyway, I just want to put a picture up there for, just something to look at while we talk about this. So, disqualified RuPaul's Drag Race Season 12 contestant Sherry Pie has been trying to stage a comeback for several years, following a very public fall from grace after reports surfaced, excuse me, in 2020 that she engaged in sexual misconduct that involved catfishing several up-and-coming actors and asking them for photos and videos, sometimes sexual in nature, for fake castings. Now things seem to have escalated recently with a new statement from Pie, where she draws a direct line between their mental health diagnosis and the mistakes they made in the past. As previously reported by Out, other news outlets, and RuPaul's Drag Race fans on social media, these attempts have included rumored secret in drag appearances, several IG posts and stories, various photo shoots, an active Cameo profile charging $40 for personalized videos, and even shady clapbacks towards the Drag Race series and its former contestants. Well, look, if George Santos trash ass could be out here charging cameos for doing drag, then I guess she can too, right? Now, recent activity from the disqualified Drag Race contestant included liking a comment claiming that the series had turned into woke BS and answering a follower via Instagram stories who asked in Portuguese if they'd ever return to the show. Well, first of all, if you was out here calling Drag Race woke BS, which I don't think it is, and throwing shade at the thing for a little bit, for some money, for some scraps, then why would they invite her back? Like, first of all, one ain't that damn stupid to be doing that. So they said that she responded with a lip sync to a quote, "Get out of here. Can't you see I don't want you no more?" The quote, however, didn't seem to be directed at the fan who asked the question, but rather it came off as an intense reaction to the idea of returning to Drag Race. Now, on Wednesday, May 1st, Sherry Pie shared a lengthy statement in her IG story about being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and what they've been doing to care for their mental health. The disgraced Drag Race queen wrote the following, saying, let me go down to it. It's a long ass thing too. So it says, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Hopefully we try to be aware of our mental health all year, but let's bring a focus on something that affects us all by talking about it on a personal level. Isn't May also, Masturbation Awareness Month? Maybe she need to do that to unleash some of them endorphins. But anyway, it says, my journey began about 5 years ago when I received my diagnosis. I'm a queer person with BPD, borderline personality disorder. My diagnosis changed my life and in many ways saved me. It provided some explanation for destructive behaviors that hurt others and myself. I was no stranger to self-harm. My self-worth was nowhere to be found. On the outside, I did everything I could to keep myself appearing stable and put together. When all the pain I had caused came to light in the public eye, of course I was met with outrage and disgust. I understand the response, but I won't ever be able to go back in time to fix and mend things, but I can and have owed my mistakes while learning and growing at the same time. I'm lucky to have an amazing therapist and psychiatrist. So through the use of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, I've developed the tools I need to help manage my BPD in useful and constructive ways. BPD, like most mental illnesses, is often horribly stigmatized by media outlets in our country, making our own responses to mental health emergencies somewhat less than supportive and understanding. More often than not, people are ostracized and then left to pick up the pieces alone. We must do better. We can do better. Sometimes life is messy and nasty, but that's life. If we are truly going to make strides as a society with mental health, then first we've got to understand how complex we all are and try as hard as we can to have empathy for other humans no matter what. Broken crayons still color. Through therapy, I have finally found my true self. Of course, I will have moments when my BPD will rear its head, which is probably when she, during those segments that we talked about before, with would you ever go back to Drag Race, or calling them woke, whatever she said about that, using the woke term. Maybe that was an episode. She said, but now I have some coping tools to deal with the situation and the ability to recognize when I am not okay. BPD is not who I am. I'm more than my mental illness. I am more than my mistakes. I am more than my trauma. I'm complex just like all other humans, just like you. Well, sis, I'm glad that you have come to terms with with what you're dealing with, and the fact that you went on the Tamron Hall show back in 2021 and you tried to work things out and work through your issues or whatever the case was. And you know what? I'm glad that you're putting in the work to make yourself better. But here's the thing. If you was out here doing what needs to be done or whatever the case was, like, this is just the product of the situation, unfortunately. You're just going to have to do what needs to be done to just continue to work on yourself, as you should. So continue to work on you. I don't think you're ever going to come back to Drag Race, nor come back to drag, because I don't know anybody who's going to put up with you or want to pay you money to perform. And I don't know if anybody's gonna want to see you perform, knowing all this stuff that's on your with the shit you did in the past that affected the show is gonna be unfortunately a nasty stain on your career as a drag artist. No matter how you slice it. I'm glad you're putting in the work and I'm glad you're working out whatever, exercising your demons and all that other stuff. But I feel like your term as a drag performer is done. This is the end of Sherry Pie. Now, I guess if people want to pay for cameos or book you for secret bookings or secret events or whatever the case is, that's their prerogative. I don't feel like places need to be canceled for doing it, but I feel like, look, it's up to us. If y'all want to support Sherry Pie, you go ahead and do that. If you don't want to support her because you feel like what she did was despicable and a sign of the mental health, whatever the case is, I'm glad you got a diagnosis. And then you forever, as long as you live on this earth, because your mental is your mental, you're going to forever be a work in progress. So work those things out. And that's that. So what else could we say about it? Except it is what it is. Anyway, so now yesterday, let's move on to our next topic. So yesterday we talked a little bit about we played the clip from Give It To Me Straight podcast where Plain Jane was on there and she talked about Bob the drag queen and the pre-drag race drama between them, and then how she didn't like the fact that Bob was way too harsh on their criticisms of Burger Finger, which in my opinion, I'm like, you know what, that's what Bob does. If you ever watch any of sibling rivalry, Bob has always given a strong opinion about things and has always had things to say, whether, you like it or not. And, depending on the thing, I don't think what she said was harsh, but I just feel like, you know what, she had an opinion on something and that was that. Just like you have your opinions and people would feel like you were a little harsh on a mandatory meeting and a bunch of other people on the show. You could dish it out but can't take it. And I think that's how people are looking at it. So what I didn't do is when I was talking about this article yesterday, I didn't see the Out Magazine article where they mentioned in the article regarding, Plain Jane and Bob the Drag Queen's drama. They revealed on Monday, April 29th, that Bob addressed Plain's claims during an episode of her sibling rivalry podcast with Monet Exchange. Funny enough, we got two clips with Monet Exchange today because Monet Exchange went on Trixie Mattel's podcast as a co-host because Katya is going through her stuff and she's currently in rehab dealing with a lot of personal stuff. So we got two clips with Monet today, and we're gonna play this one first. This is from the Spotify podcast. Hopefully I can play it and y'all can hear it. If not, I'm gonna try to mirror it. But she gives her side of the story in regards of what Plain said. Okay, so we can pause it there. Yeah, so I don't feel like, because I was going to say that as well. I don't feel like that Bob said anything remotely mean either. I was trying to pull that up as a still, but anyway, we're back. So, I don't feel like Bob said anything remotely mean either. I'm like, yeah, that was factual. And I think I wanted to bring that up yesterday when I was talking about, I was like, yeah, I was the one holding the mic and I was the one who was in a powerful position because as a host and you're the jester and you're holding court, you are the one with the power. And yeah, you were the 18-year-old kid that's sitting in the audience and I was cracking a joke or whatever the case was. And you were that Jewish 18-year-old kid. Like, what are you talking about? So I didn't believe that when Plane was up there, was, oh yeah, I will show you. And like, you were just doing that because you want to be performative and you want to, get those basic white kids all riled up that's sitting there watching that Matty Morphosis episode to be like, oh yeah, I'll show you one day that I'm going to be this big, whatever, this big star. And it's good to have those dreams and those aspirations. Because I'm always here for like anybody who wants to go and follow their dreams and stuff. You should do that. But for you to get all upset over Bob saying what she said, it was just like, yeah, I mean, when you're a drag queen and you're on stage and you're a comedian, it's like if you're gonna point people like, yeah, you make little funny jokes or you'll say little things that are inappropriate. That's what a lot of the drag queens do. If anybody's been to a show with drag queens, we've seen that. So I'm on a wide plane trying to act all brand new and bring all this other stuff. And you know what? At the end of the day, I do love this getup that Bob has on. It's giving Madonna, the erotica era. The very S&M. So I say all this to say, I'm glad that she got it out there. She said what she said. And now I feel like we can put this to bed. I don't need a whole back and forth. I don't need Plane reacting to Bob's new statement. I feel like, you know what, at this point, Bob is busy doing what he's doing. He's over there in Rio right now, gearing up for this big show, this live show that's about to pop off on Saturday with Madonna performing in Brazil. Plain Jane has this 1 year where she's got to make all her bookings because when Season 17 start up, they forget about the ones of the previous season. So she got to get out here. She got to be booked and busy. She got to be doing her gigs. She got to be trying to shove Burger Finger down our damn throat forever. So, sis, focus on that. Don't worry about constantly going back and forth with Bob. Bob is over here doing what he's doing. He's got his successful sibling rivalry show with Monet Exchange, and he's booked and busy doing things and all this other stuff. And you're doing what you're doing. And that's what you need to be focusing on. So good luck to y'all. And I'm really hoping at this point we could put this to bed because I'm tired of talking about it at this point. So let's move on to our final topic. And let's talk about Trixie Mattel, who's talking about she is taking a break from music. So drag multi-hyphenate Trixie Mattel is officially taking a break from her music career. Now, Trixie had special guest Monet Exchange on her episode of The Bald and the Beautiful podcast released on Tuesday, April 30th, as two RuPaul's Drag Race winners who are also musicians and have released some great music. Monet asked if Trixie thought they'd ever be considered for Grammy nominations or if the Recording Academy would consider creating a drag music category for artists like them. So I have that clip. And we're going to play it. So please hold.
Or or just put us in regular fucking categories.
I don't know if you feel like this, but if we're really being just us girls, I recently have been taking a break from music because I feel the glass ceiling so fiercely. I feel so like, I think I've just gotten to do everything I'm going to get to do because we're only ever taken seriously about 1 month a year.
Yeah.
And it's just like, kind of takes the wind out of your sails. You're like, I want to make really music, but if I don't have this wig on, no one will pay attention. But because I have this wig on, no one will take it seriously. So then what?
Then like, what is the end? I know that it feels, it's very annoying. And it's like why I often feel like, why am I even doing this? Why am I even putting all this time, effort, money, everyone's fucking patience into this thing? Money.
We're independent artists. Do people realize how much a cheap music video is like $30,000?
Easily.
And that's when the directors are like, well, we're not going to have food on set.
Exactly.
And you won't have a ride and there's no air conditioning. And mind you, we're in an industry where we already do our own hair and makeup and shit. So it's like, music videos cost so much money.
but if you don't budget, but then there's such a machine, right? Well, you have to do the music video so it gets more press. You can talk about this thing, and a music video will lead to this. It's like one thing does lead to another, but it's like, bitch, we're independent artists, so I have to self-fund all of this, right?
All of it.
There's no label behind me pumping all this money into this single, into this project, making it like whatever. You just have to.
Well, even if there was, I mean, I know artists who are signed, and I know about their deals, and it's like that the record label can collect 80% of what they make, including touring and merch.
That touring and merch too.
So like the labels will be like, Monet, we want to sign you. We're going to give you a $3 million upfront bonus. And you're like, oh my God, that's more money than I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
$1 million even. And you go, oh my God, I could buy a house. Crazy. And then they go,
you heard that shade? Monet, a label could offer you $10. And bitch, that'll be more money you ever fucking see a day in your life, bitch.
No. They'd be like, here's $2-3 million.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but it's an advance, which means it goes against 5 album sales.
Yeah.
So either you make us that much money, or at a certain point you owe us an extra album because you didn't make good on that amount. And in the meantime, we're going to pay for your record. We're going to pay for how much it costs, the art, the tour. We're going to pay your musicians. We're going to collect 80% of the profit.
Crazy. How is this legal?
Well, did you ever read Michelle's book, The Diva Rolls?
No.
She talks about being in seduction. And I mean, that was an era where for young pop girls, the music contract she was signed into was, and this is like open news, I'm not like spilling it. It was so predatory that she toured with seduction for 2 years. And I think in the book, she said maybe she made $1,000 a month. And she said by the end of seduction, I almost like borderline owed money.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because these deals were like, well, do you want to be a star or not? We're going to take 90% of the.
That's crazy. So yeah, that's what I said. This industry is a joke. There's a lot of artists running around here that's broke. They want to take 90% of the money that you make, or 80%, and then you get like 20% or 10% of that. And a lot of times when you see a lot of these artists, they're broke. We've heard the tea about it, like TLC. I just saw that TLC got a documentary, something on Netflix, which I have to check out. So you hear all these stories, and it's crazy because the worst thing is, like, I feel even worse for the Rue girls, because it's like, look, there's a lot of girls out here who make good music. Monet Exchange is one of them. Trixie makes good music. Adore Delano makes good music. Who else? I mean, I've heard some of Honey Davenport's stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of drag. I mean, Alaska, I love Alaska stuff. You know, it's a lot of like silly parody type stuff. I like a lot of what Alaska puts out. And you know, back when they had the AAA girls, which was what, Willem, Vicky Vox, and or what was it? No, it was Willem, Alaska, and Courtney Act. And then they had the other group where it was Willem, Vicky Vox, and then it was somebody else that was in it. I forget. But anyway, so I always like when the Drag Race girls do music, depending on who it is. Because there be some Drag Race girls, I'm like, hell, why are you even going there? But then there's some that are legitimate, talented performers, and they really put out that music. And yeah, you're already independent because you're self-financing. You know, bad enough, you're already having to pay all this money to buy your clothes, your wigs, you're beating your face because you don't have a team behind it. That's the good thing about being a drag artist, is that you don't have to hire hair, makeup, and wardrobe. You come up with all of that. But you're coming out of your pocket with all of that stuff. And then, you know, but they do have like the agencies like PEG and stuff that help them out with this stuff. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, if you're independent, you're coming up with your look. You're spending money out of your own pocket for studio time. Who knows how much a beat costs? Like, I don't know. If anybody out here produces music, let me know how much it costs to you know, how much people charging for a beat. I hope it's not $30,000 damn dollars. Or 30 million. I remember Robert was telling me that what's his name? Max Martin charges $1 million. I'm like, y'all out your goddamn mind charging somebody $1 million for a damn for some music. I'm like, y'all are crazy. But you know, it costs a lot for producers. It costs them, you got to pay for, you know, and not only that, but if you're going on tour, you got to pay for the band, you got to pay for the dancers, you got to pay for all this stuff, and there's so much money that goes into it. Like, it looks great, and the spectacle is what it is, but it's just like, damn. At the end of the day, do I recoup any of this stuff? And especially with these record labels who sit and they're like criminally insane the way they just be robbing Peter to pay Paul so they can get their little share. It's just sad and unfortunate. So, and then also on top of that, it's like, yeah, I really wish that there was a category for drag queens and to win Grammys if they put out quality music. And there's some drag queens out here that do be creating some bops. They're not all out here. And then forget RuPaul. RuPaul, but RuPaul is somebody who makes so much money from Drag Race. She can afford to constantly churn out music and work with the best of the best and, license it for the show. So she's got a good deal with that. So, there's a lot of drag queens, like I said, that's out here doing quality music, and it's unfortunate that this is the way the industry is. And that's why I said the music industry is going to implode on itself because of the crazy shit that they doing and try to even get some sort of relevancy. So, and then I really wish that there was a category for drag queens to be, to get Grammy nominations or whatever, but drag queens aren't taken seriously by the masses. Like the gays and people who love drag and the art of drag, we support it and we take it seriously. We support these artists. We support you queens. I know I do. But for the most part, the masses and the mainstream, so no matter how many damn Emmys RuPaul wins, I still feel like, based off of what Trixie is saying, drag is still not taken seriously as an art form in the mainstream space. So yeah, you have infiltrated the space. You are mainstream because RuPaul's Drag Race is the only drag show that seems to be allowed to infiltrate that space. While we have Dragula and all these other shows, but they're on smaller platforms, Drag Race is the only show that seems to be getting all this traction. But in regards to the talent that comes from that, there's, in my opinion, I feel like they're still not taken seriously, and it's unfortunate. And they are, like I said, there's somebody here that's really putting out good music, and I really wish they were taken seriously, but it's sad that they're not. And the fact of the matter is, like, I really want to be an artist, and I want to really be creative and do things outside of that Trixie Mattel persona, but if I take the drag off, you're not going to want to hear whatever Trixie's government name is. Or if any other drag queen were to take off the regalia, whatever, like Fifi O'Hara. At one point, remember she was trying to be saying, nobody want to hear what Jeremy Carey is singing about. Y'all want to hear Fifi. Just use that as an example. So it's sad at one point, like Adore. Like Adore, nobody going to want to listen to Adore as Adore. They want to hear Adore the drag queen. So it's like the persona you create, you have to continue to embody that. So it's unfortunate at this point, but I feel you, girl. I feel like maybe at this point it's like, I need to take a break. You'll come back and the creative juices will get flowing, but it's just hard out here to be an artist and to sell that dream. And then they only take you seriously for once a month, which would be next month being Pride Month, because next month is June, so we got Pride right around the corner. A lot of the gays are gonna be booked and busy, the LGBTs. But I don't understand the drag queens so much. I wonder what like the out hip hop artists and other people in those spaces have to deal with. I would love to hear from like the out pop artists, the out rappers, the out, anybody that's outside of the drag space, how they would feel and put themselves in this situation. Because I love to hear from them as well. So let me know what you guys think down in the thoughts below. I mean, your thoughts on this story down below. Okay, so we have comments. Sailor Mermaid is in the building, and he says that's disgusting and parasitic. That's why I was like, the way this music industry is, I understand it's cutthroat or whatever, but the way they treat their talent is just gross. And we've heard this story for so long over the years, and how a lot of they treat how they treat artists. And nobody should have to be treated that way. It's like, drag queens just want a leg up and to be able to make their dream come true and to really get out there and create and stuff. And then you got these people that just do this, but then you also have, this is why I always say it's best to go independent. But if you go independent or you self-finance, it's even more difficult because you need the platform and the algorithms and all other stuff. We talked about algorithms and TikTok earlier. So unless you've been on Drag Race, that's the only way you get the traction, which is why, unfortunately, a lot of these queens feel like they have to go on this show in order to become big, because nobody's going to listen to them if they're a local act. And I feel like we should support local acts. But anyway, I'm going to take that out. So then we're down. Any questions, comments, and concerns before I sign off? Because that was the last topic. If not, thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Tune in next time for a brand new episode. Don't know when I'm going to come on, probably on Sunday or Monday. I don't know, because I'm going to be busy tomorrow and Saturday. So I just had to come on and give you all a little show today. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of the show. Once again, thank you all who support. Those of you who've been subscribing to the show, I appreciate y'all. Those who've been in the comments on the cut up, the edited down clips that I've been posting on the topics, the prior topics that I've been putting on my YouTube channel. Thank you for supporting it. Those of you on my other social media platforms who follow me, definitely follow. You know, if you need to follow my other social media platforms, it's down in the description on my YouTube channel and stuff. You want to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the other places, TikTok, definitely hit me up there. I do respond and comment and all that other stuff. So anyway, let me stop rambling because I'm getting hungry like I was yesterday. I don't think I've eaten anything today. The only thing I had today was that's not true. I went to Starbucks and I had a little breakfast sandwich, and then I had that spicy raspberry drink that they got. Bitch, that shit hit. It's like I think it's a spicy raspberry, a spicy blueberry. But anyway, they got this new spicy lemonade over at Starbucks that y'all should definitely check out. And because it's getting hot, so they're gonna have all the good drinks and things. But anyway, love y'all for watching, and until next time, ciao, darlings.